translating a sentence into a one-step inequality. All right, so just from that title, I can tell I'm going to be given a sentence, and I need to translate it into a one-step inequality. So inequality means I'm going to have less than or greater than. One step just means that it's either going to have addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So it's going to have one of those things because it's a one-step inequality. All right, so if you notice, we have our question. So this is all we're going to see on our question. Translate the sentence into an inequality. The product of y and 5 is less than 28. So here's our sentence, and then they give us this little table. If you notice, I stole that little table and put it over here on my whiteboard. And that's because these are notes that we should definitely be writing in our notebook. So I have the ability to just kind of steal the image and pop it over here, but you will need to write this in your notebook. Don't guarantee that they're going to give it to you on the next page. Also, I would not guarantee that you're going to remember it all for the next page because there's quite a few different scenarios in here for each one. So if I hear is less than, I use the less than symbol. Is less than or equal to, is at most. So either one of these two things, I would use less than or equal to. Is greater than or is more than, I just use greater than. Is greater than or equal to, or is at least. So I have to remember the way these are worded, and some of them are worded pretty close, but they mean something a little different. So just adding a couple of words, and I have to put this equal to sign under. So the equal to also includes other numbers. Sorry, not other numbers. It includes the actual number that's next to the inequality sign. So if I say it's greater than or equal to 10, then it can be 10 or greater than 10. So if I just says it's greater than 10, 10's not actually included. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the way they broke this down. So they say, here's how we write the product of y and 5. So product, that's another one that we do want to remember. I don't know if they actually give us those symbols. So that's another one we went over at one point that just explains all the different words and what they mean. So product means multiplication. So if you don't know these ones, that's another good one to look up to make sure you have the table for what all the words mean for the different operations, for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So product means multiplication, and they're telling us that we're going to multiply 5 and y. So they put 5y. And then they say the symbol for is less than, remember we just say is less than right over here, is the less than symbol. So we put less than, and they told us it is less than 28. So we're literally just taking the words and breaking them down. What do they mean? And we're putting them into a numerical sentence instead of words. All right. So we're going to come over here, and I'm going to grab my pen tool also. So switch this down out of the way here. So the quotient of x and 3 is at least negative 22. So quotient, that's one of those words that means to divide. So again, if you don't recognize these words, I definitely recommend looking up words for translating mathematical operations. That's a good way to look it up because that'll give you a really nice table. Sometimes they're in like a little cutesy pattern of which words will translate into which operations. So quotient, I already know, translates into divide. And I'm going to divide x and 3. So I know I'm going to have x divided by 3, and I can write that as a fraction. That's all a fraction means is division. I can also use the divided by symbol if they give it to me. They don't. They give me a fraction here. So I know I have to use a fraction. And then is at most, sorry, is at least. So is at least, we want to come down here and we want to use greater than or equal to. And then they say negative 22. So our final task here is to just type it in. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click my fraction bar and I have x over 3. And then I'm going to click the right one. So make sure you click the box that has greater than or equal to. So here's the greater than or equal to, and I type in negative 22, and I can clear all that out so it's out of the way and check. All right, next one. So 8 times x is less than or equal to 21. So there's a couple words here. So we know 8 means 8. That's not terribly crazy. Times. So I'm hoping everybody knows times means multiply. So 8 times x. So I just brought 8 down. Times means this little dot. But we really don't need the dot in between them. I can just put 8x together. Is. That's another one of those operational words. Every time you hear the word is, it means equals. Except in this case, we can't just write equals because it goes with the rest of it. So we have is less than or equal to. So be careful about that one, because if you just went, oh, is equals equal, is the equal sign, because we've done that in other videos, you may get a little messed up on which inequality to use. So this is actually part of the statement, is less than or equal to. So we want to come over here, is less than or equal to, and we have our less than or equal to sign, and then 21. So our last step here is to just type it in. So we have 8x. We don't need to put 8 times x, but you can click on this if you want to. I don't like that they use an x in there, because to me that looks a little funny to have it like this, because now we have 8xx. They shouldn't be using this x for multiplication anymore, because we have x's in our equations and our inequalities, since we're doing inequality here. All right, we want to make sure we click on the right box, and then 21. Check. All right, we have one more to do. Okay, so now we have the difference of x and 6. So difference means subtract. So I know I'm going to subtract 6 and x. And that is greater than or equal to negative 16. So I need to decide which symbol is that. So I need to come over here and find is greater than or equal to. So I have greater than or equal to. All right, we're going to type this one in. So x minus 6. And I want greater than or equal to negative 16. So again, on this one, you may have trouble if you don't know how to, if you don't know what the words mean. So you may have to look up the operational words. All right, so we finished that one.